These are Sigma's first zoom lenses, which have been designed from the ground up to be used with mirrorless cameras. This is the 14 to 24mm wide angle, and this is the all-purpose 24 to 70. Both have a maximum aperture of f2.8, both cover a full-frame sensor, and both are available in a couple of mounts. There's L mount, which is a bit unsurprising really, considering Sigma are such a strong part of that L mount allegiance with Panasonic and Leica. But what caught our eye for this video is that they're also available in E mount, which means for A7 owners or anyone who has just invested in the fantastic new FX9, these are one of the very few third-party zoom lenses with full autofocus performance which you can get for the system. Sony makes some fantastic lenses now for the E-mount system. Their G-Master zooms are very good indeed, and the 28 to 135 f4 that comes bundled with the FX9 is a great all-purpose video zoom. But these Sigma lenses will work out significantly cheaper than those. I don't mention exact pricing in these videos as it would obviously go out of date over time, but at the moment the Sigma 24 to 70 is nearly £600 cheaper than the Sony G-Master one. For up-to-date pricing, of course, just head over to proav.co.uk where you'll be able to see the most up-to-date prices. But the price on these Sigma lenses is going to be very tempting for people. So let's take a look at how good they are. Sigma have got a great reputation at the moment for image quality, and it's easy to see why. These are sharp lenses with lovely rendition of the out of focus areas. We've done some basic real-world sharpness testing simply using the 24 to 70 here in the showroom against our Sony G-Master 24 to 70. Interestingly, you can see that the Sigma was actually giving us a slightly wider image than the Sony lenses. It's also quite a bit sharper. Focus breathing also seems pretty under control on both lenses, which is good to see. But some of the most relevant tests though will be autofocus ones. With the powerful new hybrid autofocus system inside Sony's new cameras, particularly the FX9 but also the A7 III, most owners of those cameras are now using autofocus in some capacity for their video work. I've spoken to many FX9 operators who primarily use manual lenses for the majority of their work, but are considering an autofocus lens to go alongside their usual lenses, mainly for face tracking in interviews, which is incredibly useful as an operator. So for those people, the lower price and high optical quality of these Sigma lenses is going to be well worth looking at. In our quick tests, the Sigma performs well. It's not quite as refined maybe as the Sony lens. You may well see some firmware updates to the camera or the lenses which will help improve that over time. Some of the focus pulls seem a little less natural on the Sigma, whereas the Sony lens is of course very smooth, but it is quite close. In this face tracking test, for example, I can actually see very little difference between the third-party Sigma lens and the original Sony lens. And as I said, this is the situation where I think people will be using this autofocus the most in the real world. Overall, I think these are going to be hugely popular lens options for Sony's E-mount cameras. The price alone will be very convincing for most people, especially considering how good the optics are. But if you want to buy these lenses for yourself, of course, just head over to proav.co.uk with the links in the description. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.